Thank you for joining Sertl Optics 360 Pulse. I am your host, Jennifer Sertl, Director of Marketing. 360-degree imaging is part of everyday life, and Sertl Optics technology is designed to accelerate the delivery of life-saving resources, ensure aerospace safety, enhance surveillance capabilities for protection, and increase immersive experience participation. This podcast, 360 Pulse, is dedicated to featuring immersive technology and innovators working on these capabilities. Immersive technology and innovation. Well, that is actually what our guest today, Paul Travers, is all about. Paul Travers is the founder of Vuzix, the market leader in video eyewear, and he's been an innovator and driver in virtual reality space as early as 1997, although even probably before 1997, he has unsurpassed experience in the AR, VR, and virtual display fields, and he served as president and chief executive officer since 1997, and as a member of the board of directors. Prior to Vuzix, he also founded eTech Labs, Inc., and Forte Technologies. His vision has been a driving force behind the development of Vuzix products and positioning in the marketplace. And Rochester, New York has a history of global companies that touch the world. And his company helps continue Rochester's technology legacy. In addition, I'd like to tell you a little bit about the company. It is a supplier of wearable display technology, virtual reality, and augmented reality. And it manufactures and sells computer displays, devices, and software. And Vuzix personal displays are used for mobile and immersive augmented reality applications such as 3D gaming, manufacturing training, military and tactical equipment. And more, they're finding out different ways in which this technology helps health and well-being. So, and also on January 5th, 2015, Intel acquired 30% of the stock at $24.8 million. So he created marketplace positioning before there really was a market pipeline. And so there's so much more I could offer, but I think we really want to hear from Paul. Paul, thank you for being here.
It's a pleasure, Jennifer. Thank you very much. By the way, that was a long intro.
I know, but it's just, I just want people to know, like, you were part of this, we talk about Meta, like you were actually part of creating a 30-year roadmap for this experience that we're having right now. And I just feel that before people hear from you, they really need to understand where you've came from. So talk about early adopter. You basically did found virtual reality as we know it. You were on this wave over 20 years ago. What gave you the clarity to carve out a lane in augmented reality?
Yeah, so a little bit of history. I'll say it the quick way. I used to work at Kodak in the research labs making multi-megapixel digital cameras long years ago. And it was a blast. But after 5 years of it always kind of getting put on hold for this reason or the other at Kodak, I left and started a business in my basement, one of the ones you just mentioned, in fact. And we were making sound cards for the PC. This was back when the PC would only like beat, click, speaker thing. It was a little bit of nothing. So I built and sold that business. It was a consumer electronics company. I sold it to Advanced Micro Devices. Today, wavetable synthesis, which was the kind of music that this thing created, is on everything, your iPhone to the PC that you have today, et cetera. And then I built the Universal Serial Bus Connectivity Products Company and sold it to Belkin. And you can see there's a common theme here. I mean, these are products in the computer industry to help, and as part of the consumer side of it. And then this was back in the early days, maybe 1993. I built a company called Forte Technologies, actually, that made the world's first consumer VR headset. I've always felt that the wearable computing experiences were going to change the world. This was the first VR headset on the planet, long before Meta. I don't think Meta was a company at the time, quite frankly. I'd have to go back and look. But so that company had a large shareholder that was a public entity. So I bought it back in 1997 and I started this company. This company, its focus has always been wearable technology. I've always felt that it was going to change the way things get done. And quite frankly, you can see the evolution of the computer going from mainframes to the desktop, to the laptop, to the tablet, to the phone, and what's coming next is glasses. And that whole experience in the ecosystem is something that Vuzix has been working on for the last 26 years now, trying to crack the nut, as it were, to what we think is going to be the game-changing technology for the next computing platform on the planet.
Well, I mean, I feel like I almost feel like I need to create a visual for that evolution of the technology going to from such a big device to almost our pupils, right? It basically is pretty dynamic in that way. And what I like is the story that you're saying is that there are people that are inventing an R&D. Literally is R&D. People want to build something that's never been done before. And sometimes when you're in some of the larger companies doing innovation, it really is about incremental innovation. And you are an inventor. And, a lot of inventors actually don't have the business acumen to be able to create the kind of value that actually gets purchased. And you've done that again and again. What advice can you share for people that are building so that they can have some sort of success in the commercialization piece that it seems like you have figured that out?
We're not perfect at it. I will say we're getting better and better. There's two kinds of approaches to solving the wearable display market problem anyway. One of them is you throw the kitchen sink at it, and things like products like Magic Leap and HoloLens and the likes, they're an amazing piece of kit, but they really didn't think about what the customer needed to be successful. They made a product that is really a technological tour de force that really can't be deployed. If you think about an operating theater, as an example, you have a doctor, he's got eye loops on, so these glasses with great big round magnifiers, almost like wearing a microscope. And then he's got a giant flashlight, and he's got PPE equipment, and you put all that together, and then you try to put a HoloLens on to use it during the operation, and there's just no way. It doesn't fit. It doesn't work with the gear. It just doesn't work. And HoloLens is 1.5 pounds, and when you crank down the device that holds it to your head, you get a band over the front of your head. So an hour and a half later, you're in pain from using it. So Vuzix does not take that approach. We take the bottom-up approach where you have a problem to solve. You look at the technology that's needed to solve that problem. I mean, if you look at our glasses behind me here, you can see this guy over here. The thing weighs 1.5 ounces. So they're measured in ounces, not pounds, like the competitors do. So you imagine a 16-hour operation trying to wear a HoloLens. An hour and a half in, you just can't wear it. It doesn't solve the problem. And so what Vuzix's products have done over time, well, I'll go all the way back to the Special Forces days. We were working with the Special Forces. We made a product called TACI. You could throw a robot in a building and drive the robot around inside the building. And the TACI itself was a display that was wearable, and you could see what the robot was doing inside the building. It solved the problem. It worked great. It did just what was needed to solve that problem. But the Special Forces guys came to us and said, look, Paul, right now we carry these laptops. We open them up at night. We light up like a Christmas tree. It's all this weight, heavy duty stuff. It's like about 30 or 40 pounds worth of batteries alone. We want to replace all that with a pair of Oakley style sunglasses. We call it the Oakley Gate. If you can get there, it changes everything. Half the military would be buying these things. So again, you fast forward to today. By the way, that's the technology that Vuzix has been working on. And we unveiled some glasses at CES called the Ultralights that look exactly like a pair of Oakley style sunglasses. And I'll share a bit more in a bit about all that. But in the end, the U.S. military, Special Forces guys in tow, came up with this product that they did with Microsoft based on the HoloLens that has the entire kitchen sink in it, and it's big and it's bulky and it's heavy, and it's failing at getting the job done. And in fact, it was a $20 billion IDIQ program. Again, I feel like I'm picking on Microsoft. I think it's amazing that they're doing all this stuff. But in the end, they didn't think about solving what the most immediate problem is that these Special Forces guys needed. They put the kitchen sink in it, and it's just not working. Whereas all of Vuzix products are pointed at a customer and at solving a particular problem for that customer. But, there's not an hour of the day that goes by where some operating theater isn't using our glasses. We're being used in warehouses for picking and packing pallets. There's just applications all over the place, but because these are lightweight, go-to-work kinds of glasses that solve problems.
So there's so much here, but what I really want from the audience to hear is that sometimes we get carried away with the capability of the technology and need to figure out how to continue to listen to the customer experience. And you're listening to the customer experience and And also, like, I'm thinking of, you know, when Bausch and Lomb had revolutionized, I remember hearing that they ended up getting into fashion sunglasses, and that idea of fashion wear was a game changer for them. So it wasn't just the capability, but the experience of the person. And so you're actually bringing fashion, if I might, into, you know, people want to wear things that are easy to wear or desirable to wear. And so you got the experience of what people will wear, and then you've just been iterating on how to actually make it desirable to wear. Is that correct?
I mean, that's a really good way of looking at it. We started with the basic functionality. First of all, we had to, right? I mean, for Vuzix to survive, we have to sell products. It's not like we're just a research department. We're making things that need to have a market in the end. So in the case of the broader markets, we go all the way back to what the Special Forces guys wanted. They wanted Oakley-style sunglasses. To make glasses that actually can be sold into the marketplace, though, is a very complex set of problems. But I know that this is not a video cast, but you can see these glasses look just like a regular pair of sunglasses. They're amazing, but it's taken 26 years to get the technology to a point where it could do that. And interestingly enough, at CES, there was a young lady wearing these glasses, and the phone, it uses the phone as the processor. So the phone was listening to everybody talk, and this young lady was hearing impaired, and everything that was going on around her, all the speech that was happening was coming up in her glasses and text that she could read. It was game-changing for her. She had tears in her eyes. That's an application that you need fashion forward. You got to look decent in order to put them on and want to wear them. And that's the focus that Vuzix has had, either fully functional and or getting to the point to where it's the broad markets. And in the broad markets, you think about it, it's a very difficult problem because 75% of the planet wears prescriptions at the same time. So they got to be fashion forward. You know, you go into a sunglass hut, there's 500 different sunglasses that people pick from, right? Yeah. So they got to be fashion forward. They got to support your scripts, and they got to have smarts built into them that don't look like you're just stepped off the Starship Enterprise. And Vuzix is trying to solve for all of that, frankly.
Well, you know, there's so many layers in what you just said. I think the first is that having the capability to see is one thing, but what you actually did is you actually created, I think of augmented reality, is you actually gave someone their senses back, right? You were able to enhance the life of someone's experience of reality by creating a sense. You gave them, it's new for me, this conversation, so I'm trying to find the words. You actually created an ability for her to participate in the world in a way in which she wasn't able to without the technology. So not only is it exciting to add capability, I think it's, as you said, life-changing technology. And I think we're just beginning to learn how this will impact well-being and quality of life. You know, not only the technical piece of it, which is really, really moving. You did want to talk a little bit about the unveiling at CES, and I invite you to do that.
Sure. So at CES, actually, our Shield, which I don't think is back here. Yeah. Anyway, the Shield is our newest pair of, you'll see that the guy on my left over here.
Yeah.
He's got this monocular device that it's a computer stick that kind of looks like it's a go-to-work gizmo. The Shield actually looks like a regular pair of glasses. It's a little chunky on the side because it's got the latest XR1 processors and stuff from Qualcomm's and the like. And, it's just got a lot of technology in the glasses. Yeah. But that said, it uses our waveguides. And these are the lenses that can actually go in a pair of glasses that look like regular glasses. These waveguides have little tiny features on the surface of it that allow you to project an image into it. And just like the heads-up display on your car in the windshield, you get that, but it's in the glasses. So we actually are starting shipping that, and it was kind of a central part of the show. But at the same time, we built a reference design. It's called the Ultralight, and I just showed you what they look like. I mean, they look just like a regular pair of glasses. It's hard to believe. They've got the display built in. They uses the phone as the platform to operate on. It's got a Bluetooth connection to the phone. So you think like a smart watch, but now it's in your glasses. And you're walking down the street and turn by turn directions are coming up in your glasses. You're not in New York City where you've got your phone and you're looking down at it, head stuck in the phone, walking out in traffic and getting run over. All that stuff just appears floating in front of you, just like the heads-up display in your car. I just gave you an example where the phone's listening and it's doing language translations for you. It can do just, English to English text sort of stuff, transcription. Basically, a pile of features that you have to take your phone out, you no longer have to do that with. Leave your phone in your pocket, the glasses are on, they look great, you fashion forward, they could carry almost any brand, from Ray-Bans to Warby Parkers to you name it. And it's going to be a brand new category of smart glasses. You'll walk into the store, there'll be the regular glasses, and then right next to that, the sunglasses, and then right next to that, the smart glasses. And they look, like I said, they're very fashion forward, and they're going to give you capabilities that you can just leave your phone in your pocket for. So it's not about, watching dinosaurs run down the street and that kind of stuff. This is basic, but really important information that's going to change the way people do a lot of things. And they'll be able to stay in the real world as opposed to their face dumped in their phone. So
for those of you listening, we will be releasing a blog in a week, and we will make sure that there's some photographs I'm going to take of Paul in this conversation that we're having, as well as we'll make sure that we're sharing the lens. And, the first thing I thought was a little bit of Elvis Costello, when I saw the glasses, and that is a poor transition to where I want to head, is the idea of, a lot of people that are inventing and they're curious and they solve a problem. But do you have pressure to keep inventing? Is there, because you're so visible and you're a market leader now, what is it like inventing with that kind of pressure? Is it a different kind of pressure, or is it just the same?
Well, we're up against giants, right? Meta puts billions and billions of dollars a year into their AR and VR product lines. Google, similar, Apple does. That said, and I think no matter how you cut it, this is going to be a massive industry. When it comes to the enterprise space, Vuzix is a leader, and I think we're going to stay a leader in that side of it. And then on the OEM side of our business, like these really, beautiful next generation glasses, we are supplying the pieces and parts of those devices to some of the bigger players that are out there today. You bet. That means that we're on a treadmill. We got to run fast. We got to keep innovating, and we got to stay in the forefront of it all. But we had 26 plus years of experience behind us, and we've got great technology that we built here right in Rochester. We're manufacturing these waveguides. We're one of the only USA manufacturers of waveguides. If you think about the defense space, there's a pile of companies now that are coming to Vuzix to buy these engines and the waveguides to make products to actually resolve some of the issues associated with the IVAS programs. I mean, all of these defense companies were looking at using IVAS as their display systems. And it's a dangerous device even in some ways because of the way the operator lights up like a Christmas tree when he's got them on. So in any event, yes, we are on a treadmill. It requires constant innovation. That said, I think we're doing a pretty good job of it.
Yeah, that's amazing. And also, like, I see you being not only an expert in the technology, but as Meta and as people have more immersive experiences, I think your ability to see the customer experience, you're going to see different experiences and have a way to solve some challenges that are in the future. So I think there's going to be a lot of iterations of your expertise and where it's headed, which is great. I want just one other pivot, and then we're going to go to the future. I believe that where I know your name, not only in your business success and commercialization, but as a mentor. Mentorship has always been very much a part of your leadership. And I know that you had deep influence on the Bala brothers, who created Velon Studios, that created the mixed reality Mario Kart game, Skylander, Guitar Hero. So what is your advice as a mentor to young people that are just now exploring innovation and entrepreneurship?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I will say Kartik and Guha are phenomenal young men. They're getting a little bit older now, but I remember them back in the day. When I was in my basement, actually, is when I first met those two fellows. They were driven, hardworking. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I think you got to not think about, I'm going to put in an 8-hour day. And again, I am a bit of a workaholic, so I'm probably one of the worst people when it comes to personal life and running a business. But you got to have a strong constitution, and you got to want to put in the time and work hard and solve problems, and don't be afraid to fail, because it's going to happen more than once along the way. So it takes a lot of hard work, not for the faint of heart, but boy, it's an awful lot of fun at the same time.
That's amazing. How do you keep up with the technology and the news? Because, if I think of my Twitter feed, Fast Company, Wired, I really have a hard time filtering out the noise from really important information. How do you do it at your level?
Yeah, I do a lot of reading, but it's all technical stuff. People normally ask in some of these interviews that I give, well, what book are you reading of late? And it's all technical books. It's not, I don't know, think of a fairy tale thing or something that's, science fiction. It used to be something I used to love to read, but nowadays it's technology. I will say that things like ChatGPT, I think are going to be game changing in this regard, because it can do all the research for you and cut to the chase, the wheat for the chaff. As you say, my inbox is flooded with stuff, and tools like ChatGPT can really just, narrow it down to here's the important things that are in this.
Right.
So super excited about how AI and all of that's going to unfold. I know that a lot of people are afraid of it. I personally think it's going to be game changing, because for myself, even right now, it helps me multiply up and get to the bottom of things much quicker.
And actually, that's a great segue to my last question is, where do you see the future of augmented reality?
Yeah, before it's all said and done, this vision of, we talk about it in the enterprise space where you're in front of a building that's being built, right? And you've got the glasses on and you're seeing how far along the building should be. You're seeing the things that got done right, the things that didn't get done right. And all of that virtual stuff is actually part of the real world in front of you. That vision, it applies to so many different things. So ultimately, the whole spatial computing, the HoloLens vision, it's going to happen. And it's going to happen in glasses that look cool and experiences that, people just can't even imagine right now. The one I just gave you was a great one. When you're in an operating theater and the beating heart is there, and overlaid on top of that is the CAT scans and everything else that are just helping a doctor, do the job. Today, our glasses are used for knee surgery, where the glasses look at the knee and they tell the doctor when the alignment is right before he puts the pins in. And the glasses are doing all the thinking and the hard work on those measurements and stuff. So you're just going to see stuff like that and more integration. And the future of the glasses, they're going to get, like I said, more and more fashion forward. Our cool glasses now, the new ultralights that we unveiled at CES, they're displays right now, but we're already on the path where there's other stuff that's being added that's super tiny still, that gives you even more and more capabilities. That said, these glasses can run for 2 days on a charge. Not bad when you consider that the batteries and everything are built into the frames. 2 days is pretty impressive. So you're going to see more and more integration and more capabilities. And then someday, as Magic Leap video where the whales are jumping out of the gymnasium floors and stuff, that's all going to come for gaming, but for more importantly, real world applications that save lives and get things done faster.
Thank you very much. We've been listening to Paul Travers talk about immersive technology and all of the capabilities that are coming in the future. I'm so thankful that you joined our program today. We'd like to thank the Institute of Optics, Genius New York, Luminate Accelerator, AFWorks, Cider Technologies, Archangel Imaging, and AUVSI. Special mention to our podcast producer, Scott Fitzgerald at RockFox Studios here in the heart of optics expertise, Rochester, New York. And by all means, I hope you subscribe to our program. Find us on Twitter and LinkedIn. We are very interested in how immersive technology positively impacts safety and the human condition, as we heard a lot about today. If you know a story or someone we should feature as a guest, please let me know. You can reach me at jennifer@circleoptics.com. Thank you for joining us.